I'm ready now. I have a daughter. Her name is Lelia. Lelia is also the name of a genus of orchids. Some of those orchids have curly petals and some have straight petals. My Lelia had curly petals. She was born with a rare condition called arthrogryposis multiplex congenita. That meant that her joints were fixed in place and her legs were curled in. The muscle attached to those joints was weak or didn't grow at all. This has meant she's needed 8 surgeries before she was 8 years old. Some as major is cutting and rotating all 4 of her limbs at different times. Everyone tells us what an inspiration she is. She even inspired my husband to go through a much less invasive surgery. He actually donated his kidney to a stranger, saving the woman's life. He never would have gone through surgery if she hadn't demystified the process for him. So, the topic of my discussion, special needs kids are not your inspiration. That seems wrong. So, I want you to put yourself in my place. And this little girl is your little girl, your only child. Are you holding her in your arms? Are you considering her future? Are you seeing her missed opportunities, the bullying? A friend once said, "Don't worry, she'll grow up to be a motivational speaker." Is that the best you'd want for your child? To be someone's charity or ministry, someone's internet meme? I always worried that she would find a nice young man who would ask her out to prom just to be nice, and it would make the 8 o'clock news. Because that's ableism. It's not always this discrimination against those with disabilities. It's not always as obvious as pushing someone at the playground or mocking a reporter with disabilities. And yes, that reporter had arthrogryposis, and yes, we're on a Trump kick, I'm sorry. But sometimes it's subtle. I put a video up on YouTube. Don't put videos up on the internet unless you want over 1 million views, which are not all her grandparents, and a lot of comments. And in those comments, I saw some problematic ones. Now, this video is of my daughter laughing and giggling and playing, pretending to be a superhero, and very proud of herself for getting out of bed by herself for the first time. But the #1 comment we got on this video, "You poor baby, we feel so bad." One lady said the video made her cry because it's opposite day and up is down and left is right and happy is sad, right? Or is it that when we see someone who moves or looks differently than we do, we're moved to sadness, to pity? To these commenters, she was only inspirational in as far as she was pitiable. That affects the way my extremely, extremely confident daughter sees herself. We also got a lot of what we call religious distancing. God bless her, we'll pray for her. Now, this also comes from a well-intentioned place. But when you hear a lot of it, like at Target or the airport, typical kids just don't hear this stuff. It can come from a place where we see special needs kids as angelic, sent by God to teach us real people a lesson and not full humans in their own right. And I want to be clear, not everyone with arthrogryposis wants a cure. They'd like to climb steps better, and sometimes my daughter would like to fly, but they don't need to be supernaturally fixed, nor would they want that. My daughter is amazing, and her disability is part of that package. She doesn't want you to pray her identity away. This can affect how my somewhat confident daughter sees herself. The last one, the comments I want to mention are the, "What happened? What's wrong?" Because human curiosity is natural and normal, but when we hear it all the time, it feels like an inquisition, like we're being constantly inundated with your questions. And we want to say kiss off, but we're actually happy to answer, "May I ask what condition your daughter has?" Just like we're happy to answer, "Where'd you get those jeans?" But we don't owe you an explanation for existing. When we're questioned in public just for existing, it can affect how my formerly confident daughter sees herself. So, can special needs kids be your inspiration? Anyone can be your inspiration because people are inspirational. Some get more opportunities than others. Some get 8 opportunities before they're 8. But an inspiration is not all they are. When we reduce their humanity down to an inspiration, We're forgetting they're people. But if we see them as people, then that's what they'll see when they look in the mirror. Thank you.